Greenland is a wonderful place. We need it for international security. And I'm sure that Denmark will come along. I think it's costing them a lot of money to maintain it, to keep it. The people of Greenland are not happy with Denmark, as you know. I think they're happy with us. We had representatives, my son and representatives went up there 2 weeks ago, and they like us. So we'll see what happens. But Greenland is necessary, not for us, it's necessary for international security. You have Russian boats all over the place. You have China boats all over the place, warships, and they can't maintain it.
So there's been a lot of discourse lately about the U.S. acquisition or annexation of Greenland. I think this started off as kind of a cute joke until the world found out that Trump was not fucking around. And I am 100% on board. I love it. There's plenty of positive reasons why this could be a lucrative business deal, really for all parties involved. Maybe some negatives. Couple of quick hit facts. Greenland is an autonomous nation under the control of the Kingdom of Denmark since 1953, however, is not a member of the EU. In 2009, Greenland gained self-rule with provisions for assuming responsibility for self-government of judicial affairs and law enforcement. It's the world's largest island, about 836,000 square miles, with a tiny population of only 58,000 people. Just to put that into perspective, the town that I live in has a larger population than the tundra-covered island of Greenland. But see, it's not about the Inuits who reside on the island, also known as the Kalaalleq. I probably pronounced that wrong, but it's about the land itself and its advantageous geographical location and natural resources including uranium, zinc, lead, iron, and even gold. Mostly untapped due to restrictions and regulations imposed by the Danish government. Very similar to our federal trust land here in America. Also, nickel and cobalt are in various locations in Greenland, which are essential in battery production, specifically in electric vehicles. And currently, who do we rely on for these natural rocks? China. The CCP isn't exactly who we should be leaning on for cobalt battery supply chains. Those aren't the only rocks abundant on the island. On the southwest coast, near the village of Fiskeneset, there are 30 confirmed locations of rubies and sapphires. Also, they're considered some of the oldest rubies in the world, estimated to be about 3 billion years old, which is pretty cool. Speaking of old, obviously fishing is the cornerstone of the Greenlandic economy, and sharks tend to live anywhere from 250 to 500 years old in the oceans surrounding Greenland. The shark displayed on screen was born in 1627. Incredible. I don't know why I put that in the video, I just thought it was badass. But most importantly, Greenland has something that America definitely needs. Oil. 17.5 billion barrels of offshore oil reserves, and that's just what's been discovered due to harsh climate limitations. And sadly, the government banned all future crude oil explorations in 2021, citing concerns of global warming. Like, what a joke. Your country is 80% ice. Also, 148 trillion cubic feet of natural gas and 200 million tons of coal reserves. With offshore drilling alone, this could potentially create tens of thousands of well-paying jobs, and of course would lower gas prices for all Americans. Also, mining jobs, fracking, etc. Unshackling their economy would help their citizens as well. They obviously know their own land much better than we ever could, so the idea that the military is just going to invade their homeland and kick the Greenlandic people to the curb is just not realistic. I don't know if they actually want us there or not. There's been conflicting reports. One poll displayed on screen found that 57% of Greenlanders approve of becoming a part of the US, but that's not reliable. And no, I don't believe Charlie Kirk and Don Jr. when they landed in Nook that the Inuits were wearing MAGA hats. Likely they just gave them for free for some kind of photo op. But I could be wrong. But see, the problem is that America is not the only global power that has ambitions of annexing Greenland. China and Russia have a large presence in the Arctic, and the Danish government refuses to protect them. And I really doubt the Inuits want to be subject to the communist rule of Xi Jinping.
So here's the thing that I think a lot of folks don't appreciate about Greenland. It's really important to our national security. There are sea lanes there that the Chinese use, that the Russians use, that frankly, Denmark, which controls Greenland, it's not doing its job and it's not being a good ally. So you have to ask yourself, how are we going to solve that problem, solve our own national security? If that means that we need to take more territorial interest in Greenland, that is what President Trump is going to do, because he doesn't care about what the Europeans scream at us. He cares about putting the interests of America's citizens first.
Into my last couple points here. History. The last few times the United States has purchased land, it's been quite successful. The Louisiana Purchase of 1803, and of course the purchase of Alaska from the Russian Empire in 1867 for only $153 million, that number is adjusted for inflation. We give that to Zelensky every other weekend. We can buy Greenland. We deserve it anyway. America has defended the island since the 1951 Thulesag II Treaty, which was signed at the dawn of the Cold War to influence the geopolitics of the Arctic against the Soviet Union. Even to this day, our Space Force base is stationed in Pacific. How many military bases does Denmark have in Greenland? 0. So if you just look at the facts, Trump has every right to acquire the island and incorporate it into US territory. And I think there's even some bizarre talks of Denmark wanting California in some kind of weird trade. Make that happen.